Hello everyone. In our daily lives, we often come across a situation in new clips and documentaries where certain parts are intentionally blurred with mosaic effects. Mosaic is a widely used graphical video processing technique that degrades the details with specific areas of an image, resulting in a disrupted pattern of colors. This blurriness often creates an appearance resembling a grid of small squares, hence the term mosaic. The primary purpose of using mosaics is typically to render the content unrecognizable. So, under what circumstances do we need to use these mosaic effects to obscure certain parts? There are several scenarios. When interviewees refuse to show their faces directly, in cases of excessively violent or gory scenes, for concealing nudity or explicit genitalia, for special professional groups such as police officers, concealing the faces of patients with diseases like AIDS or leprosy, involving suspects, accused individuals, or subjects in criminal cases. In cases involving underage criminals, only showing their backs is a common practice. Generally, not using mosaic effects does not infringe upon the right of portrait. Specifically, when using portraits of individuals of news value or social prominence in news reports, historical events, or personal stories. For personal interests, such as in missing person notices, documenting specific public events involving participants' portraits, like political figures or celebrities, in a positive context. When law enforcement agencies use individuals' portraits in the course of their official duties, when portraying participants in parades, celebrations, or similar events, for food reviews, narratives, and informative purposes, to realistically depict individuals. Companies can use the portraits of their employees for promotional purposes and other reasonable uses. Now let's explore how mosaic effects are applied through software. There are two main types of mosaic effects, static and dynamic. For static mosaics, they don't move. But for dynamic ones, as the person or the thing moves, it should move too. Let's see how to apply static mosaics. Let's switch to the material and locate the interviewee's footage. We drag it to the library and add it to the New Sequence button. Then hold down the left mouse button and drag to create a sequence of the same size. After that, hold down the Alt key and drag the mouse with the left button to the upper video track. This will quickly create a duplicate video material. So why create two video materials? This is because when we add effects like a mosaic to a video, it will usually affect the entire video by default. To achieve local censorship, we usually copy the material and add a mosaic to the video material on the upper track, and then control the local display through the mask. Let's move on. First, find the control panel. Search for mosaic in the search box. Drag the mosaic effect to the top layer material and look the parameters in the effect control. We can choose shapes like ellipse, square, or pen tool. For example, let's use the ellipse tool for the interviewee's head. It automatically creates an ellipse. Now we position the ellipse over the head, adjust anchor points, and modify feathering to control edge blur. we can adjust horizontal and vertical blocks to change the mosaic size ratio. By default, the number is 0, which means no mosaic. By adjusting these values, we can achieve a clear mosaic effect. There are a horizontal block and a vertical block here, and the amount of them directly affects the size ratio of our mosaic. For example, if I change it to 40 here, you can see clearly that the mosaic has undergone a significant change. Our character's head has basically become small squares. At this point, you may find that the width needs to be wider. By adjusting the value, we'll find that the squares will become squarer. We can easily and quickly achieve the effect of blurring the characters. Isn't that simple? Now let's look at dynamic mosaics. We drag the material into the project window. It's a street view of Chiang Mai, Thailand, with a moving car. Our project requires blurring the license plate. Seeing the video, we know that the car is moving. So, how to apply dynamic mosaics? Let's get our hands on. It's the same method. First, make a new sequence. Press the Alt key, and while holding the left mouse button, drag upwards to duplicate a piece of content. Place this duplicated content on the track above. Find the effect, and apply the mosaic effect by dragging it onto the content. Increase the value of the mosaic effect to make it more refined. Based on the settings for the static mosaic effect we used earlier, we adjusted it to around 72. In this case, adjust it to 40 for a more perfect result. Next, use the pen tool to outline the area of the license plate. Since the license plate has an angle, it isn't a square, and the shape is not that precise. It's okay. Start by roughly outlining the shape, then proceed to make precise adjustments. If the adjustments are inaccurate, drag the frame aside to see it clearly, then pinpoint the correct position. When you press the spacebar to play the video, you'll notice that the mosaic doesn't move along as the car drives away. There is no mosaic. The mosaic stays in place. To achieve the tracking effect of the mosaic, we need to set up an animation path. How to achieve this? Locate the mask path and click on it to open the animation recording. This is usually indicated by a clock-like icon. After clicking, drag the slider back in time. Click once at the appropriate position to add a keyframe. Select the mask path, and the system will display the shape of the mask. Then, find the position of the license plate by moving its anchor points. As the car gradually approaches the camera, the license plate will gradually enlarge, so adjust its size accordingly. Continue by pressing the spacebar for a preview, find the position of the license plate, and make necessary adjustments. At this point, you can drag the mask path outside of the frame. Following these steps, we have successfully created a dynamic mosaic. Alright, That's all for today's class. Please practice regularly, as practice makes perfect.